Welcome to the Fate of Ukraine channel. Russian army has officially launched a counterattack. However, only 2 of the 3 Russian divisions managed to escape. The Ukrainian army hit the Mariupol region very hard. Russian experts could not identify the secret ammunition used by the Ukrainian army. Clashes in the region intensified. American bomber spotted on Russian border. Kremlin stood up. The military head of Luhansk Oblast stated that the Russian army carried out massive raids on Kreminna front. Local sources stated that they could not hear about the situation on the front because of the sudden raid of Russian soldiers. However, during the conflicts, Russian soldiers made progress in the positions, albeit small, at first. However, the fate of the conflicts changed with the arrival of Ukrainian special forces to the front where the attacks were carried out. The Ukrainian army officially attacked violently to drive 3 Russian assault divisions away from the area. During the clashes, 2 Russian divisions began to flee. A surrounded Russian division was completely neutralized. Russians suffered great losses during their attack on the Kreminna region and could not achieve any success in the front area. The defenders of Ukraine stopped the Russian attacks. Serhiy Haidai, head of the Luhansk Oblast military administration, gave information about the region as a result of the clashes. Haidai stated that there was a strong attack attempt on Kreminna front and that 3 Russian divisions attacked, but the defense forces kept their positions. Haidai also stated that about 200 Russian soldiers were neutralized during the offensive. In the last 24 hours, Ukrainian defense forces repelled 70 Russian attacks on the Kupiansk, Lyman, Bakhmut, Avdiivka, and Shakhtarsk fronts. Although the Great Russian attacks continue, the Ukrainian army continues to defend its positions. Russian sources and local sources in the front area continue to convey the latest developments in this way. In another development, the Ukrainian army used an unidentified weapon in the Mariupol region. A senior Kiev official stated that a logistics center belonging to Russian troops was hit, which was outside the range of Ukrainian artillery and missiles in the port city of the Sea of Azov, which is under the control of the Russian army. Thus, the shooting of the region, which was out of the range of the artillery and missiles used by the Ukrainian army, stunned everyone. Natalia Humeniuk, senior spokesperson for the Ukrainian Southern Joint Forces, said, "Inaccessibility is a very relative concept. What is considered too far out of reach is not always so. The Mariupol direction is no longer completely inaccessible to us," the official said. The statement made is quite unusual, because the Ukrainian army officially says that it can now hit long-range targets with mysterious ammunition. Explosions at night in and around Mariupol airport were also confirmed on Russian-controlled information platforms, independent news outlets in Ukraine and on social media. Ukrainian army officially used a new long-range weapon after the attacks. Petro Andriushenko, the former mayor of Mariupol, said in a press release that the attacks badly damaged 2 major aviation fuel storage facilities at the airport and Russian troops at the steel mill. Ukrinform news agency confirmed the locations of the attack, and several news agencies reported that a military aviation munitions storage area was blown up. Russian military blogger Ivan Yutenkov published a report from Mariupol that some new ammunition was behind the explosions and that the attacks shocked me. Pro-Russian military-linked social media also reiterated the Russian blogger's claim, pointing out that the Ukrainian attack took place far beyond the known range of the HIMARS and M270 systems. The maximum range of the M31A1 missiles, made available to Ukrainians by Washington for the HIMARS and M270 systems, is known as 70 kilometers. However, the distance of the last attack is quite far. Military experts have officially admitted that the Ukrainian military is now using secret technology. It seems that it has now been officially revealed that missiles carrying GPS-guided warheads are in the Ukrainian army. However, this information could not be verified by an official as of now. It is quite interesting that such attacks took place after Israel recently announced that it would give secret technology munitions to Ukrainian army. In this period when the conflicts were most intense, Bakhmut front began to be called hell. The biggest helper of Ukrainian forces on the front is drones. Eastern Ukraine is the hottest spot of the war. Russian troops continue their artillery fire without interruption. Ukraine, on the other hand, detects Russian artillery units with a drone unit called Dnipro-1. Thus, Ukraine can set fire to Russian positions. Drone operator Ruslan said it was extraordinarily dangerous to work, especially in the woods. In addition, the drone operators said the tanks are working all the time. There are artillery units from different directions, from the east and north. In this region, Russian artillery began to hide in the densely wooded area. As a result of this situation, it protects Russian tanks and infantry and opens fire on Ukrainian positions. As a result of the artillery systems being hidden in wooded areas, it is a very difficult situation to discover. Drones are critical in this region. The most essential tool for locating and targeting Russian forces. The drone team can also prepare ammunition for the drone within 20 minutes. The war doesn't seem to end anytime soon, but drones continue to dominate the war. After the developments in the front area, there was a great development on the Russian border. Strategic bombers of United States Air Force approached the Russian border at a critical level. A group of United States Air Force bombers capable of carrying strategic nuclear bombs flew over Europe's border with Russia. The bombers flew at low altitude over the Estonian capital, heading towards the Russian border. Seen only a few hundred meters above Tallinn, the bombers were spotted in the sky due to Estonian Independence Day. In Estonia, which celebrates its Independence Day, the bombers that took off to provide motivation returned to the airports where they took off from the Russian border. The planes, which made a routine flight, raised the Russian side. President Biden also made a statement after the developments. Ukraine will never be a victory for Russia, said President Joe Biden. U.S. President Biden reiterated United States support for Ukraine, pointing out that Ukraine is still independent and free. In the first year of the war, Biden said that the Ukrainians from Kherson to Kharkiv took their lands back. Biden shared a photo with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and said, "The Ukrainian flag once again proudly flies over half of the territory occupied by Russia last year." It has been reported that Germany has increased the number of Leopard 206 type main battle tanks, which it has committed to supply to Ukraine, to 18. In the statement made by the German Ministry of Defense, it was stated that Defense Minister Boris Pistorius has decided to supply 4 more Leopard 206 type main battle tanks to Ukraine from the stocks of the German army. In the statement, it was noted that the number of main battle tanks that Germany would give to Ukraine was increased to 18 and that with this decision, a mixed Ukrainian battalion could be formed with the Leopard 2 tanks that Portugal and Sweden would provide to Ukraine. The assertive diplomacy move that China's top diplomat Wang Yi launched with a European tour in the last few days received a warm reaction from Russian President Vladimir Putin. Beijing came with not one but 2 plans. The first plan is the solution proposed by China to end the war, and the second is a framework that will ensure world peace. These plans largely reflect the line China has repeated over the past year. Beijing calls for respect for Ukraine's national sovereignty and the protection of Russia's security interests. China's proposals did not excite the West much. President Volodymyr Zelensky made an encouraging speech while commemorating the soldiers who lost their lives defending the country in Ukraine on the first anniversary of the war. Zelensky presented the state medals to the members of the army and their relatives at the ceremony held in front of the Hagia Sophia Monastery in the capital, Kyiv. At the ceremony, leader Zelensky held a minute's silence for the Ukrainian soldiers who lost their lives in the war. Then, speaking here, Zelensky expressed his gratitude to the fighters who helped Ukraine overcome the difficulties. Reminding the comments that Ukraine will fall in 3 days, Zelensky said, "We fought every day. We endured on the second day, and on the third day, we were predicted to lose. They threatened that after 72 hours we would not exist. But we survived the 4th day. Then on the 5th day, and we have been resisting for a whole year. We still know that every tomorrow is worth fighting for," used the phrases. Expressing that everyone sees the true face of Russia, Zelensky also stated that the world understands what Ukraine can achieve. Thanking all partners and allies who supported Ukraine in the war, Zelensky said, "Despite massive missile attacks and power cuts, we see the light of victory. We are not defeated. And this year we will do everything to achieve victory," he said. We have come to the end of another video. You can like the video to support us. By subscribing, you can easily follow new videos. See you.